All right. So, last article of the day, folks. This is the one you have all been waiting for. The real lolcow response bait of tonight. And that being, does your child listen to loud, heavy rock music? He might be a neo-Nazi. Alright, so I saw like a mere screen cap of this title article like only just recently on Twitter in a group chat that I'm on. And so that kind of gave me the idea to want to respond to this. I thought this article was much more recent than 2017, but I'm still gonna read it because hey, why the fuck not? It's pretty entertaining. Anyway, responding to the lulz here. Does your child listen to loud, heavy rock music? He might be a neo-Nazi. Just off the surface, this is pretty stupid, but let's go on. According to Calgary police, if you listen to heavy rock music, you or your child could become a neo-Nazi. Wow. The police are being rather slanderous, it seems. Not just the riders, but the fucking police are being smearful and slanderous. This is some real shitty stuff right here. Following the devastating events in Charlottesville, the music industry and tech companies have joined forces to work against hate. Okay, but is it legitimate hate, or is it just some milquetoast disagreements that they have that you're defining as hate, is my question in regards to that. But anyway, companies like Spotify have taken down white supremacist and neo-Nazi content from their platforms. Oh, like what? Give me an example. In addition, government officials have worked to raise awareness about the dangers of hate groups. Yet one organization has taken things just a bit too far. Oh, okay. I almost think that this article might be actually speaking out against the police rather than being in agreement with the police. So I might be wrong. I might have to eat crow and probably jump the gun. Well, let's continue. Titled Signs of a Child Being Part of a Hate Group, the Calgary Police Service issued a list of signs that worried parents should look for in their children. Reading through the list, you'll find common warning signs like violent behavior and violent behavior. I mean, as shitty as neo-Nazis are, violent behavior is not explicitly just a neo-Nazi thing. It could also be like a Hebrew Israelite black supremacist thing or Antifa thing as well, for fuck's sake. And stereotyping certain ethnic and religious groups. Not just Nazis do that as well, dude. The police force also urged parents to remain vigilant for behavior such as children wearing or displaying Nazi propaganda. Okay, now that I will agree is kind of antsy. Would definitely get me on edge. Like, son, why the fuck do you have a swastika on your fucking forehead? Do you not know the history of the Nazis? Do you actually agree with them or whatever? Get that shit off your head. But did you know that playing loud, heavy rock music also counts as a warning sign? Maybe it's time to put away your favorite AC/DC and Black Sabbath albums. Fuck that shit. Maybe we're all in a hate group. In the leaflet, you'll find some common child and teenage behaviors that Canadian officials list as early warning signs, quote unquote. This includes a sudden lack of interest in school. What the fuck? That has been an American stereotype of children going through school for a fucking long ass time. It is not an inherently Nazi thing. What the fuck? What? What the fuck? What am I reading? And wait, whoa. And adopting new groups of friends. Okay, let me just turn that on its head there. So, is what you're saying is that people should not be adopting new groups of friends like groups of friends that happen to be immigrants? Should they not be doing that? Otherwise, if they do that, should they be worried? Should the parents be worried about their kids adopting new groups of friends that being immigrants? No, I get what context they're trying to mean, but the bare word saying of that could be any new group of friend, really, that the parents may or may not disapprove of, that may or may not be controversial. As a child and a teenager, I hardly cared about school. Okay. So I do think that the article writer is speaking out against the Calgary police, but this is still funny shit reading right here. What's the chat say right now? Remember the black Israelites and the Covington kids? These white guys gonna harvest our black Oregon, says Reckless Trucker. Wow, yeah. So being a teenager, LMAO, yeah, exactly. Men can't do anything remotely masculine nowadays. Yeah, you can't listen to hard rock music, that being a stereotypically a masculine thing. Otherwise, you're a neo-Nazi, according to Calgary police. SoundCloud over Spotify, says Square Samuel. Alright. Better download all your rock tunes before they get censored by the useful idiot, says Invisible Hand. Yep, exactly. As a child and a teenager, I hardly cared about school. I also made new friends pretty easily thanks to my sarcastic personality. Well, good for you. You seemingly mastered sarcasm at an earlier age than I did. The last time I checked, however, I didn't belong to a neo-Nazi group. Exactly, sir. I also want to add that not everything associated with heavy metal is neo-Nazi. I mean, case in point being that fucking Rage Against the Machine, heavy metal band, and they are outspoken commies, for fuck's sake. Disturbed, bunch of Bernie bros. What's another one? Green Day is pretty left-leaning themselves, as they have espoused some pretty anti-American sentiment. And if I remember correctly, I think Bush, or no, not Bush, Pearl Jam is pretty anti-Republican themselves. So, not exactly, even vaguely, a bunch of neo-Nazis, for crying out loud. And there are obviously some more right-leaning rock groups, too, that are not explicit Nazis or neo-Nazis. And I don't want to associate the Nazis of being right-leaning, just mind you, folks. But still, the fact that I point out those left-leaning metal groups, those are some absolutely glaring examples of how left-leaning a person can be and still love the shit out of hard rock. In addition, having Latin roots wouldn't have allowed me to easily form part of a group that chants Heil Hitler anyway. Yeah, I mean, as I do see by your picture, you do actually look like a Latino. Daniel Sanchez, and well, the name Sanchez obviously implies Latino roots, but anyway. The Calgary Police Force also said that secretive behavior may show that your child could belong to a hate group. Okay, Are you sure that's not their porn stash that they're trying to hide? Just saying, folks, just saying. So if your child hides the fact that they forgot to do their homework, they belong to a hate group. Really. If a married adult like myself hides that they forgot to purchase the groceries, they're most likely a neo-Nazi. In addition, if your child suddenly changes his or her appearance, name calls someone, or behaves disobediently, watch out. They most likely belong to a hate group. I just like the hyperbole, the sarcastic hyperbole that this person is bringing out. And yes, I'm saying sarcastic hyperbole. I'm highly convinced that he is not straw-manning them. He's just being sarcastic and balls-busting the Calgary police. I now wonder if both of my daughters fall into this category. Well, kudos to your daughters if they really like to rock out to some Metallica and other shit. And by the way, I do also want to mention for this occasion, folks, that I am wearing my Guns N' Roses t-shirt, so apparently I must be a neo-Nazi. And I'm also wearing like the one that has the cross on it with the skulls. Don't know if you guys can see it or not, but yeah. So apparently I'm a neo-Nazi now. Of course, that was evident from the start, as Owen Cunt Donald had pointed out a little over a year ago. Also, do you or your child listen to Metallica, Led Zeppelin, AC/DC, or Black Sabbath? Playing heavy rock music with violent lyrics is listed as one of the clearest signs of belonging to a hate group. Signs of a child being part of a hate group. If your child is involved in a hate group, these early warning signs may be a clue. Sudden lack of interest in school. Well, I already laughed at that a little bit earlier. Adopting new groups of friends and staying out late without any explanation. They're not just partying for the fun of it and trying to pick up chicks. Apparently they're out partying with a whole bunch of skin-headed neo-Nazis and trying to pick up a dark person hating white chick, apparently. Oh god, this is stupid. Violence or secretive behavior. That's not explicitly neo-Nazi either. Overt hostility to parents and family. Disobedience, rudeness. Okay, now that is fucking stupid right there. Children have been hostile to parents since the beginning of time, for fuck's sake. The Bible has plenty of stories of children being hostile to their own parents, for crying out loud. Long before the idea of Nazism was in existence. Are you fucking kidding me? Racist graffiti, drawings, and doodling. Okay, I'll give that one. Playing loud, heavy music with violent lyrics. Okay, so apparently the one song from Snoop Dogg of where that he envisions killing Donald Trump, apparently that's, if you listen to that, that's a sign that you're a neo-Nazi. Oh, or no, it could be a sign that you're possibly an Antifa person that wants President Trump dead or something. Instead, again, the rules here being set are just absolutely stupid. Actually, in all seriousness, I don't really think that if you listen to Snoop Dogg that you are automatically Antifa or want Trump dead or any of that other bullshit. I'm just saying that it would be more akin to that than somebody being a neo-Nazi that wants dark-colored people dead. Stereotyping and scapegoating of certain groups. Yeah, including if you're doing like a comedy skit, people. Apparently, Gabriel Iglesias, Eddie Griffin, and Dave Chappelle, they're all neo-Nazis, people. Even though the neo-Nazis want their types dead. Name-calling, racial, and religious slurs in conversation at all times. At all times. Okay, I will grant that if somebody is like literally and unironically just calling black people a bunch of filthy niggers, well then that's a sign that they are racist. Just FYI. But the first part of that, yeah, it's just kind of stupid. Well, stereotyping, not so much. Scapegoating, I guess a person could argue that is a bit of a negative thing right there. Scapegoating of certain groups. But stereotyping, yeah, anyways. Making racist or bigoted comments about minorities, immigrants, or foreigners. A marked repugnance to consider certain ethnic or religious groups as fully Canadian or even human. Being against a religious group is not explicitly neo-Nazi. I mean, disagreeing with religious groups is not inherent of neo-Nazism. People like to conflate supposed Islamophobia with white supremacism and white nationalism. Like, oh my gosh. Kill me now. Wearing or displaying Nazi propaganda and symbols such as swastikas or the Iron Cross in our military clothing and paraphernalia. Okay, I will grant that one to them, except for maybe the Iron Cross, because I have heard some other arguments that the Iron Cross is not a Nazi symbol, that it existed long before the Nazis ever did. But I don't know that for certain, and I would have to actually look into that. Changing their appearance. You hear that, folks? If your child is like getting themselves a buzz cut because they're joining the military, that means that they're a neo-Nazi. No, I joke. Nazis just used it. Germany still uses the Iron Cross. The Nazis just used it, was all, said Square Samuel. Yeah, exactly. And also, Nazis used tanks. They were like really fond of their tanks. So if you like tanks, and if you're in like a military that uses tanks a lot, that means that you're a Nazi, folks. My kid loves heavy rock music, but he's not in a hate group. The Calgary Police Service quickly came under fire after publishing the list online. And rightly so, might I say. Robert Riggs, a hardcore rock fan, believes that the Calgary Police Service has promoted an outdated stereotype. Way outdated. Although the stereotype was more associating hard rock with Satanism than Nazism, but yeah, I mean, stereotyping nonetheless, it's far outdated. Speaking with the Toronto Metro, Riggs said that his son loves heavy metal, yet that hasn't defined his personality, nor his beliefs, might I just add. My son, he listens to heavy metal, and he's one of the nicest kids ever, but I tend to see him lumped into a group he doesn't belong in. Exactly. Riggs doesn't believe that young people who listen to rock or heavy metal will eventually belong to a hate group. It's kind of gone the way of video games cause violence and things like that. It's not monkey see, monkey do. Kids see their parents go to work all the time, and they don't suddenly get up and find a job at 7 years old. I mean, it's kind of an overly simplistic example, but it still kind of sticks. A Calgary police spokesperson pushed back against Riggs' accusation. Oh boy, this is going to be good. Let's see what we read here. Corwin Odland said that research showed that listening to heavy rock music is a common trend among hate groups. So, did you know that the Nazis breathe air? If you breathe air, that means that you're a Nazi, folks. It's a common argument of Hitler loved dogs. You like dogs, you're a Nazi. We're not saying all people who listen to rock music are part of hate groups. Bullshit! You need to stop being a bunch of inarticulate dumbasses then. Or just take down the flyer entirely. That'd probably be the best approach for you. But there tends to be a correlation. What correlation? Do the stats actually say that that a super majority of people that listen to hard rock are neo-Nazis? I want to call bullshit on that, if that's what you're implying there. People who are involved with hate groups tend to be involved in that kind of music. Fuck you. I don't care. I'm still going to listen to my rock music, and so is everyone else. And they are not going to be like Nazis. This is just... Man. This is just slander of the highest order. From a source of authority, y'all. Odland added that people shouldn't take the point by itself. My brain hurts right there. Rather, they should contextualize it with other items on the list. Fuck you. Fuck you. The statement itself says that they might be a neo-Nazi if they're playing loud, heavy rock music with violent lyrics. I mean, if you're saying that it requires them to do all these things, there's cause of suspicion that they might be in a hate group. That in of itself is dumb, because I don't need to take all those things and say, yeah, my kid might be a neo-Nazi. All I need to do is take the whole wearing or displaying of Nazi propaganda or referring to X racial group as a bunch of filthy whatevers. I just need to take that in of itself and be questioning what's the beliefs of my kid. I mean, ignore the rock music part of it. Completely ignore it. The music part of it is completely irrelevant. And yet they still like to act like it is relevant. Since the story's publication, the Calgary Police Service has taken the word rock out. Playing loud, heavy music with violent lyrics still prominently remains, however. Now you're just broadening the brochure, just broadening the criteria. I mean, it could be like loud, heavy, classical music even, or new times. Or how about loud, heavy, rap music with violent lyrics? You did not make things any better for yourself, Calgary Police. Holy shit, what a bunch of dumbasses.
Oh hey, you've made it to the end of the video. If you like what you see and hear, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button down below, please. If you want to see more content like this video is actually just a mere clip from a full live stream episode of my political show, Strike Force. Link down below for the full stream. Go check that out, and also subscribe and set the bell notification button to all to keep notified of this channel. I also have a BitChute channel under the same name, The Dark Conservatarian, and a Twitter and Subscribe star that may or may not be approved of yet. Links for those two as well in the description box. Hope to see you all later. Good day, and God bless.